Hey guys, it's Bobi aka Paginator, and we're here with the October TBR game. Alright, we're getting on to the end of September, so it's time to play the TBR game for October. During the summertime, I did TBR Bingo, and then you guys voted for me to do TBR Pursuit in September. And in October, I'm going to go back to doing it old school with G's TBR Avatar game. And we're going to do 10 rolls for the month, 5 required, and then 5 bonus rolls. And let's just get into it. Since it's been forever since I played this game, I kind of forgot what spot I was at, and I could go back to the last video and look, but let's just start at the beginning anyway. Roll number 1. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cabbage pot. That figures. So for roll number 1, we got cabbage pot. And because it is my birthday month, I'm going to allow myself to just pick a few from my priority shelf and use a smaller cabbage pot than usual. So we're going to mix, and grab When Clouds Touch Us. Alright, so this is When Clouds Touch Us. It is the sequel to Inside Out and Back Again. It is a novel in verse about a character named Ha who moves to Alabama as a refugee from the Vietnam War, and she's trying to get along in America during this crazy upheaval of her life. Roll number 2. 1. Pick a card. Boomy, read a book you've heard is a tad odd. Okay. Roll number 2 got us a book that you've heard is a tad odd, and I'm going to go with The Sisters Grimm by Mena Van Prague. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on this one. I got this from Thrift Books, I think, which is why there's no dust jacket. So I have pulled it up on Goodreads to read you the synopsis from. Okay, so this is what Goodreads tells us. As children, Goldie, Liana, Scarlet, and Bee dreamed of strange otherworld, a nightscape of mists and fog, perpetually falling leaves and hungry ivy, lit by an unwavering moon. Here in the Shadowland of Everywhere, the 4 girls, half-sisters connected by blood and magic, begin to nurture their elemental powers together. But at 13, the sisters were ripped from Everywhere and separated. Now 5 years later, they search for one another and yearn to rediscover their unique and supernatural strengths. Goldie, Earth, manipulates plants and gives life. Liana, Water, controls rivers and rain. Scarlet, Fire, has electricity at her fingertips. Bee, Air, can fly. To realize their full potential, the Blood Sisters must return to the land of their childhood dreams, but Everywhere can only be accessed through certain gates at 3:33 a.m. on the night of a new moon. As Goldie, Liana, Scarlet, and Bee are beset with the challenges of their earthly lives, they must prepare for a battle that lies ahead. On their 18th birthday, they will be subjected to a gladiatorial fight with their father's soldiers. If they survive, they will face their father, who will let them live only if they turn dark, which would be fair if only the sisters knew what was coming. So they have 33 days to discover who they truly are and what they can truly do before they must fight to save themselves and those they love. Roll number 3. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is the moon thing, which shoots us over here, and we pick another card. Momo. Let Momo pick your next read. So that's a pet pick. I don't have a pet, but I have an idea for how to handle this anyway. Okay, so we got Momo a pet pick for roll number 3, and in past things like the Aurelium challenges and stuff, Jay has said that if you don't have a pet, you can do some kind of random prompt thing instead. So I found a website that's not just a random color generator, but a color palette generator. When I do these random generators, I like to generate 3 times. So we're going to do that. I'll insert a screen recording here so you can see how it goes, and we'll get a color palette. Okay, so I think we're going to read Foxglove by Adeline Grace. This seems to fit with the colors pretty well. And it is the sequel to Belladonna by the same author, of course. And it is, like, beautiful. And this is just the Amazon copy. This isn't, like, even a fancy special edition. It's just pretty. Look at these end papers. Okay, so this is the sequel to this, Belladonna. And this is, like, if the secret garden was, like, a deadly poisonous garden. Kind of. But also not really. I got this in a fairy loot last year, I think, and Signa, who was orphaned as a baby, she's now 19, she's been raised by lots of different guardians, and each of these guardians has met an untimely end, and her remaining relatives are this family, the Hawthornes, who live in this creepy mansion, and they have this creepy garden, and there's definitely creepy stuff going on in the mansion, and I don't want to tell you too much more than that because you need to read it for yourself, but I really, really loved this, and so I feel like, or at least I hope that I'm really, really going to love this. Roll number 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another card. Lion Turtle, read a book that was gifted to you. I don't have any books that were gifted to me, so I'm going to have to redraw. Okay. The Avatar State, read something from your favorite author. Rule number 4 got us the Avatar State, pick something by your favorite author. My absolute favorite author of all time is Jane Austen, and I've read all of her books, and I don't really feel like rereading one right now. But one of my most favorite modern authors is Erin A. Craig, and I recently got this, and it is signed by her. I got to meet her. She's so kind and funny. This is the sequel to House of Salt and Sorrows, and it is a 12 Dancing Princesses / Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe retelling. And then the second one continues with the idea of the 12 Dancing Princesses and follows different sisters than the first one, or at least the main characters. The main one that this follows was a character in the first one, but she was more of a minor character. Does that make sense, or have I confused you? Roll number 5. 2. 1, 2. Another card. At this point, I'm going to run out of cards. Not really, but you know what I mean. Southern Water Tribe, a book with snow on the cover or a white cover. Roll number 5 got a Southern Water Tribe. This is a book with snow on the cover or a white cover. And so I'm going to be pulling the book that I was supposed to read last month and just didn't have enough time to get to, which is Alone by Megan E. Freeman. This is about 12-year-old Maddie, and she wakes up and like there's no one there. She is absolutely alone. She had been at a sleepover, or she was going to go to a sleepover, and she wakes up to this nightmare. She is absolutely alone. There's no one left in the town. It's been evacuated, abandoned, and she has no people, no power, no phone, no nothing, and has to survive. So I've heard good things about this one. I just simply ran out of time this month to get to it. Roll number 6. 2. 1, 2. Another card. Roku, a book with a dragon on the cover or in the title. Roll number 6, we got a dragon on the cover or the title. And I am going to go with another sequel. This is As She Ascends by Jodi Meadows. The first book is... what is it? I pulled it up on Goodreads so I could tell you about it. Before She Ignites is the first one. And in the first one, the series is called The Fallen Isles, by the way. Mira is a hope bearer. She has been told that she's special and important and all these amazing things since she was born. And she, like, there's this famous treaty that was named after her. And this kingdom that they live in is like these 7 islands that are together. And dragons exist in this world. Sorry, my camera battery died, but we're back now. So I was telling you about Mira, and she doesn't feel like she's this perfect, amazing person that people have told her that she is, and something goes extremely wrong, and she is betrayed and sentenced to the pit, which is the deadliest prison in the Fallen Isles. There is this guard there that would do pretty much anything to discover the secret that she is dying to protect. So there's not really a full dragon here, but there is a tail, and that kind of represents the fact that there are dragons in the book. This is the closest thing that I could find, because as much as I love dragons, I must have just read all of the dragon books that I have, because I couldn't find any that I haven't read yet. So there you go. Roll number 7. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 20-sided die. All right. Okay, so I've got my list of 20 books here, and I've got my die. It is quite heavy, so I've placed some fabric down for it to toss on, so hopefully that won't create a huge, like, loud noise for you hearing the video. All right, here we go. We have 12. 12 is the Brothers Hawthorne. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That worked out really well. Alright, so for roll 7, we rolled the 20-sided dice, and we got the Brothers Hawthorne, which is the latest in the Inheritance games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I absolutely adore this series. I've talked about it a ridiculous amount of times, but it just, if you haven't heard, it starts with the book The Inheritance Games, and it follows a young woman who has suddenly been told that she's going to inherit billions of dollars from a man that she's never met, and she has no idea why she was chosen, but she has to live in his home along with all of his family members that have been recently disinherited for a year in order to fully inherit. And there's a lot of mystery, there's a lot of like secret passageways and puzzles to be solved and that kind of stuff. So this is, as I said, a continuation of the series, and we're following Grayson and Jameson through some mystery stuff, and I think that, yeah, I don't want to read too much here because I don't want to spoil it for myself. Roll number 8. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another card. Bosco, animal on the cover. Roll number 8, we got an animal on the cover, and I am going to go with Wayward by Amelia Hart. I got this a while ago in Book of the Month, and it's just kind of calling to me. We have this gorgeous bird on the cover. I can never tell the difference between a crow and a raven. Do you guys know? Anyway, let's see what this says. I'm a wayward and wild inside. In 2019, under the cover of darkness, Kate flees London for a ramshackle wayward cottage inherited from a great aunt she barely remembers. With its tumbling ivy and overgrown garden, the cottage is worlds away from the abusive partner who tormented Kate. But she soon suspects that her great aunt had a secret, one that lurks in the bones of the cottage, hidden ever since the witch hunts of the 17th century. In 1619, Altha is awaiting trial for the murder of a local farmer who was stampeded to death by his herd. Ooh. When Altha was a girl, her mother taught her their magic, a kind not rooted in spellcasting but in deep knowledge of the natural world. But unusual women have always been deemed dangerous, true. And as the evidence of witchcraft is laid out against Altha, she knows it will take all her powers to maintain her freedom. In 1942, as World War II rages, Violet is trapped in her family's grand crumbling estate. Straitjacketed by societal convention, she longs for a robust education her brother receives, and for her mother, long deceased, who is rumored to have gone mad before her death. The only traces Violet has of her are a locket bearing the initial W and the word Wayward scratched into the baseboard of her bedroom. So we have 3 different women's stories who are going to be woven together, and I am excited to find out more. Roll number 9. 6. Which way am I going? Up, down, up. I have to remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cabbage pot again. Roll number 9, we got cabbage pot again, so get the skull out. Give him a good shake. Vampires of El Norte. Aha, another Book of the Month Club selection. Those are words, right? Of course, it has to be at the bottom of the stack right here. Success! I got it out without knocking over the entire stack. Okay, so Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. And it says, as the daughter of a rancher in 1840s Mexico, Nena knows a thing or two about monsters. Her home has long been threatened by tensions with Anglo settlers from the north, but something more sinister lurks near the ranch at night, something that drains men of their blood and leaves them for dead. Something that once attacked Nena 9 years ago. Believing Nena dead, Nestor has been on the run from his grief ever since, moving from ranch to ranch working as a vaquero. But no amount of drink can dispel the night terrors of sharp teeth. No woman can erase his childhood sweetheart from his mind. When the United States invades Mexico in 1846, the two were brought abruptly together on the road to war. Nena as a curandera, a healer striving to prove her worth to her father so that he does not marry her off to a stranger, and Nestor as a member of the auxiliary cavalry of ranchers and vaqueros. But the shock of their reunion and Nena's rage at Nestor for seemingly abandoning her long ago is quickly overshadowed by the appearance of a nightmare made flesh. and unless Nana and Nestor work through their past and face the future together, neither will survive to see the dawn. Dun dun dun. And rule number 10, make it a good one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sneak peek. So this is where I have to check out somebody else's TBR video and choose a book from that video. That one's always tricky, but it's fun to go on the investigation. Alright, so rule number 10, got a sneak peek where I have to look at someone's TBR, and I went to Covers with Cassidy, and as luck would have it, the very first book that she mentioned is part of a series that I need to continue. So she was talking about the Golden Enclaves, which is number 3 in the Deadly Education or Scholomance series by Naomi Novik. I also need to read book number 3, The Golden Enclaves. I don't have it, but I found it on Libby, so I can listen to the audiobook. And because it is a 3rd book, I am going to tell you about the first one. So the first one is A Deadly Education, and it's set at a place called Scholomance. It is a school for magically gifted, and if you fail, you could die for realsies. Elle, she's a student there. She begins to unlock some mysteries going on. And I'm going to read a little bit from the Goodreads synopsis. There are no teachers, no holidays, and no friendships, save strategic ones. Survival is more important than any letter grade, for the school won't allow its students to leave until they graduate or die. The rules are deceptively simple. Don't walk the halls alone, and beware of the monsters who lurk everywhere. Elle is uniquely prepared for the school's dangers. She may be without allies, but she possesses a dark power strong enough to level mountains and wipe out millions. It would be easy enough for Elle to defeat the monsters that prowl the school. The problem? Her powerful dark magic might also kill all of the other students. As I said, I read the first 2 already, loved them, 5 stars, both of them, and I'm really excited to read the 3rd one. Okay, so here is my October TBR. I have less books than I have the past few months, but there's some pretty chunky ones in this stack, so it should be a fun reading month, but also I'm a little bit nervous. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys are doing well. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.